Hey y'all, thanks for stopping by. So recently, Donald Trump has invited some families from South Africa to immigrate to the United States. These families claim they are running from the fear of genocide, that they are being exterminated in their home, and that they are asylum seekers coming to the United States to seek safety, pursuit of happiness, all that good stuff that America's supposed to be about. And this has caused quite some contention online on all sides of the political spectrum. Many of Donald Trump's supporters are upset that immigration is happening at all, that the immigrants were supposed to be leaving, that this is supposed to be America first. We worry about our own people. We don't need to concern ourselves with the problems of the world. And on the other side of the political spectrum, some of my more contemporaries, you have people saying that this is bad because it's the people who are being allowed asylum, that all asylum seekers are not treated the same under this current administration, that these people were treated favorably because of the color of their skin. And some people have used choice words that have caused some, we'll just call it discourse on the internet, namely about white racism. I'm seeing this a lot, that the left is racist against whites. And it's always that wording too, racist against whites, or it's anti-white racism. It's always coached in that language. And that's what made me start to question their consistency regarding the animosity towards racism. Because conservatives love to bring up Martin Luther King Jr. and the line about not judging people by the color of their skin, but instead by the content of their character. And they'll always bring him up whenever the left addresses racism. Typically, what these conservatives will say is that Martin Luther King would despise you because you bring up race as a point of contention whenever something racist happens or whenever someone is doing racism. Addressing it means you're part of the problem. Now, me personally, I've never had to coach my language about racism or bigotry. Racism is bad. If you are racist against people, if you denigrate someone because of the color of their skin or where they were born, their nationality, and I know that's not exactly racism, that's like jingoism or something more specific than that. But in an HR sense, if somebody got hired onto your company and introduced themselves as being from England or France or even from somewhere like Israel, and you shout it out loud, ew, that's gross. HR's gonna fire you for being racist. That's the definition we need to look at with this, not the scholastic edition, not the one that makes some people frankly uncomfortable with listening to left-leaning circles because you tell them you can't be racist towards a white person, which, power structures and things like that aside, people can still be bigoted towards one another. You can still be racist on an interpersonal level towards anybody. But that's where the line gets drawn. That's where we differentiate ourselves. This is where I'm proud to be a man of the left and not a man of the right. Because I think racism is bad all the time. It doesn't matter who you're being racist towards. It's bad. But these people like to coach it. They can't say that they despise racism in general or bigotry in general because they don't. Because they love it. It's their weapon. It's what they use to convince people to be on their side. Those people are different. You need to cast out the other. We need to get those people out of our country. Meanwhile, as a man of the left, the people who I despise, the ones who we need to resolve and deal with, are the ultra wealthy. It's a class distinction. I support all working people. I do not support your bosses. Those can come in all different shades and sizes and colors. Admittedly, if you look at the structure of the world, if you look at the history of the world and who's currently in seats of powers, it can seem a little bit overrepresented between some of my more lily white companions in these upper echelon seats. But the fact of the matter remains, it's a class issue for me. It has nothing to do with their race. It has nothing to do with your religion. It has everything to do with how you use your money and the ways you use it to oppress others. Now, to bring this back to the start, the immigrants coming from South Africa right now, if you're someone who believes there is a genocide happening to white farmers in South Africa right now, I would just ask you to read the actual data yourself. Read crime stats and what those crosses are for specifically, because it's not just white farmers. It's not just murders either. Also, really funny that the clips that were being shown to the South African president by Trump were, if I'm not mistaken, from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So, not even the same country. But, all that being said, if you're one of these people who believes that these white South Africans are running from genocide, and that's why they should be able to seek asylum in our country and to immigrate here, Great. You need to allow that for everybody. And if you're someone who won't allow a Palestinian to come into your country, even though they're under the threat of genocide, or a Sudanese person because they're under the threat of genocide, or if you think people should be deported to El Salvadorian pits in the ground because their asylum process has been going on for a few decades now and they're not full citizens yet, I think you might be the kind of person who complains about anti-white racism and specifically always calls it anti-white racism instead of just racism, because clearly it's a one-way street for you. It can only be racism if it's someone that looks like you. But I guess until one of these South African immigrants does some crimes that Trump has to answer for, or I guess until Fox News decides to run the clip of that dude singing about Kill the Boer in front of the audience, y'all try to have a good day.